You're watching Rurouni K95's anime review on Unico and the Island of Magic. Hi Ruronis, this is your pal Rurouni K95 here. Today's anime review, once again we get to cover another anime movie that is directed by Osamu Tezuka. For today's anime review is Unico and the Island of Magic. Yep. So, Unico and the Island of Magic is basically directed by Moribi Murano, which is miscredited as Sugino. Directed the second movie, which is titled Unico Maho no Shima, which is To the Island of Magic in Japanese. And in Unico and the Island of Magic is in English, which this anime movie was released on July 16th, 1983, which is probably 5 days before the release of the first Barefoot Gen movie, which is probably around the same time as Urusei Yatsura anime TV series, as well as the Kabocha wine, as well as Creamy Mommy the Magic Angel, as well as Golgo 13 the Professional, as well as the first Urusei Yatsura movie, Only You, which is probably around the same time as this anime movie, Unico and the Island of Magic is. Yep. Which used many of the same production staff, and in Mexico on January 30th, 1988, which television premiere on Canal de las Estrellas, which was airing for this particular anime, particularly for like the anime movie like Unico and the Island of Magic as well. So, looking back on my previous anime review on the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, because I was thinking about if I wanted to do a anime review on Unico and the Island of Magic until now. So this film essentially picks up after the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, with the West Wind dropping Unico off in a new location called Poland, where the gods will unable to locate him. The story begins with the West Wind erasing Unico's memory of the past events, and he is left once again fend for himself. Unico runs into a Heathcliff-like cat named Melvin Magnificat. Speaking of Heathcliff, I mean this is particularly the 80s, so because Heathcliff is a cartoon series from the 80s, if you're unfamiliar with Heathcliff, which is an old program from the 80s. I mean, come to think of it, Melvin Magnificat resembled Heathcliff in Unico and the Island of Magic. If you ever watched Unico and the Island of Magic. So, anyways, Melvin Magnificat, who is the apparent boss of the forest, which Unico has stumbled upon. Later, Unico meets a kind-hearted young Polish girl named Cherry, which is probably, she's voiced by Sumi Shimamoto in the Japanese dub. Cherry's older brother, Toby, who is voiced by Shuichi Ikeda in the Japanese version, is working for the evil Lord Kuruku, who plans to turn all living creatures, animals, and people alike into usual zombie-like beings called living puppets to be his slaves. Toby's job is to change people into living puppets and then lure the living puppets to Kuruku's fortress on a nightmare island in Baltic Sea off the coast of Sweden in exchange for learning more of Kuruku's magic. His plan is to obey and serve until he learns enough to be the master but fails to protect Cherry twice. Toby also takes on Melvin Magnificat, who hates Unico because Unico has intruded in the forest which the West Wind left Unico, especially. You guessed it. As his assistant, after Cherry's parents and neighbors all got turned into living puppets, she and Unico team up to stop Kuruku. Seeking advice from the Trojan horse, Unico and Cherry learn that Kuruku is a puppet who was mistreated by his owners and discarded. He washed up at the ends of the earth, where all unwanted junk ends up eventually, and was brought to life with the power of the 200 years of sunlight exposure, determined to take revenge on the human race. With the help of the Sphinx's daughter, who is voiced by Noriko Tsukase, which is the character named Marusu in Japanese, but not given a proper name in the English version. Unico, who realizes that Kuruku is really just a lonely, friendly, faceless creature, is able to break Kuruku's spell, but since Kuruku's hatred was the only thing that kept him alive as Kuruku dies, reverts back to its puppet form with what you see in the Fantastic and Unico and the Island of Magic, which because particularly this anime movie, particularly how you expect seeing it. So, and Cherry keeps him as a toy. Soon afterward, the West Wind finds Unico and spirits him away once again to avoid detection by the gods who want him dead, as you noticed, if you will. So that's my review on the anime review on on Unico and the Island of Magic. Yep. As with the first movie, the second movie's ending theme song is Do Re Mi Fa Lullaby, performed by Emiko Shiratori, became an instrumental in the Spanish and English dub version, Katsue Miwa in the original version, and Barbara Goodson in the English dub reprised their roles as Unico in this film, while Veronica Castro took over the roles as Unico. Yeah, because we're in safe hands here because this anime movie, Unico and the Island of Magic, is particularly the follow-up to its predecessor to the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, which I did my previous anime review. It's not like I have not reviewed Wonder Woman live-action movie or Wonder Woman 1985, but anyway, so Unico in the Island of Magic was particularly based on the manga of the same name, which is created by Osamu Tezuka, who is known for his work such as Kimba the White Lion, Astro Boy, Phoenix, Princess Knight, Dororo, Buddha, and Blackjack as well. Yep. Because even though that Unico was based on the manga, because Unico is a baby unicorn with white fur and a pink mane and little cinnamon bun-shaped ears, who was born with the very special gift of making all living creatures lighthearted and happy. Yep. Because Fantastic Adventures of Unico is particularly created as an anime series by Osamu Tezuka, who is the creator of Astro Boy. I mean, this was licensed in Mexico by Televisa, which is in Mexico as well. But in North America, both Unico and the Island of Magic and the Fantastic Adventures of Unico were available as a Unico double feature on DVD, which is released by Discotek Media as well. Yep. So the anime movie Unico and the Island of Magic was done by the company called Madhouse, particularly, which the company Madhouse is known for anime. They films as they worked on, such as Wicked City, Demon City Shinjuku, Ninja Scroll, as well as Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, Paranoia Agent, Dreaming Machine, as well as The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Trigun, Badlands Rumble, as well as particularly known for other animes like Barefoot Gen Lensman, The Dagger of Kamui, Barefoot Gen 2, Neo Tokyo, Twilight of the Cockroaches, A Wind Named Amnesia, Urusei Yatsura Movie 6, Always My Darling, Memories with the Stink Bomb segment in Katsuhiro Otomo's Memories as well, Card Captor Sakura the movie, Card Captor Sakura Movie 2, The Sealed Card, Metropolis, Vampire Hunter D, Bloodlust, as well as Paprika, Highlander, The Search for Vengeance, My Miracle, Red Line, as well as The Tibetan Dog, as well as Hunter x Hunter Phantom Rogue, as well as Hunter x Hunter The Last Mission, as well. Yeah, because the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, Osamu Tezuka did not direct it, but instead it was Moribi Murano who directed this anime movie. But I know this anime movie was released on November 10th, 1983 in the US as well, which has probably gotten popular because Unico and the Island of Magic was directed by Moribi Murano, but it was produced by Masao Maruyama, who is known for his work on anime he has worked. at the company called Madhouse as well, because he was the co-founder of Madhouse as well. Yep. So, and also the Unico and the Island of Magic, however, is particularly one of those miracles of a follow-up predecessor to the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, even though I've already looked back on my previous anime review on Fantastic Adventures of Unico, which it all has got to me, because this is how, because yeah, Unico is based on the manga by legendary Osamu Tezuka, who's the creator of Astro Boy, because I'm considering to be an Osamu Tezuka fan. Yep. And yes, because Beazle, who is the young devil of solitude from Scottish mythology, part of Celtic mythology, did not appear in Unico and the Island of Magic, but he's only appeared in the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, because this is also produced. Yeah, it was really, yeah, both Unico and the Island of Magic, however, is released in Mexico on January 30th, 1988, probably in the same way how the Fantastic Adventures of Unico was premiered in Mexico on September 27th, 1982, which is how I expect seeing an anime were released in Mexico. But in Japan, Fantastic Adventures of Unico was released on July 16th, 1983. And yes, this is particularly a good anime follow-up to Fantastic Adventures of Unico because, well, what can you do when you have a anime movie which is probably released in Mexico in 1988, like for an anime movie like the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, well, Unico and the, I mean, sorry, I meant Unico and the Island of Magic. Unico and the Island of Magic, however, was released in Mexico on January 30th, 1988. Yep, because it was produced by Ernest Alonso as well, because Ernest Alonso, who is the Mexican producer who produced an anime with Japanese producers like Masao Mayurama and Tsunemasa Hatano as well. Because, yeah, Unico is particularly created by the same creator who worked on Astro Boy and Kimba the White Lion, Osamu Tezuka. Which, ironically, Astro Boy is particularly the more popular anime from legendary Osamu Tezuka as well. And all same with Kimba the White Lion, which I basically ironically call it the Japanese Lion King. But for the Unico and the Island of Magic, however, this is particularly the sequel, the second movie, which is a follow-up to the Fantastic Adventures of Unico. If you haven't seen the Unico and the Island of Magic, I recommend you either watching it on Tubi TV or Crunchyroll. You can watch it either in English dub or in its original Japanese with English subtitles for Unico and the Island of Magic, along with the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, which is the first, which ironically, Fantastic Adventures of Unico is the first Unico movie released back in Japan on March 14th, 1981, I guess. Yeah, because my review on Unico and the Island of Magic is getting a lot way more better than my movie review on Nobody's Fool with Paul Newman, which it all has got to me. Because when I first did my review on Unico and the Island of Magic, because I look back on my previous anime review on the Fantastic Adventures of Unico, which it all has got to me, I guess. So that's going to be it for my anime review on Unico and the Island of Magic for today's anime review. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's my thoughts for this anime movie on Unico and the Island of Magic. It's been a while since I watched this on Crunchyroll. When I first watched it, I loved it because this was released back in 1983, because probably around the same time as Urusei Yatsura TV series, as well as the Kabocha Wine, as well as other animes. This was 5 days before Barefoot Gen as well, I guess. Hope subscribe for content. My anime plan link in the description down below. You can share this video on your Twitter, Facebook if you have a Twitter and Facebook account, and all social media. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up by clicking on the like button on this video. Feel free to leave in the comments in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RoniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel. Hit the notifications bell button. Keep it otaku for this anime review, and I got another anime review coming up next here. Stay tuned for my next anime review. I got another anime review I'm coming up with tomorrow's anime review on Ergo Proxy. Stay tuned for my next anime review on Ergo Proxy, because you won't want to miss another anime review.